Hey guys, this is Hannah and this is Bookworms Talk. And today we're going to talk about Fallen Too Far by Abbi Glines. This is about a girl, Blair, from Alabama who just recently lost her mother to cancer, which was her only parental figure because her father stepped out on her and her mother 5 years earlier after he crashed a car that killed her twin sister. And so she goes to Rosemary looking for a little bit of help for a little while until she can get a job and a place of her own. And she thought that she could count on her father. And she should have known better because he's done nothing but let her down in the past. And so she goes to his place and he's not even in the country. He's in Paris with his new wife, Georgiana. Georgiana's son, Rush, is there, and that's kind of his place now. And he's just automatically mean to her. But I would like to say that Blair isn't the kind of girl that just sits and takes shit, you know? She is from Bama. I am from the South-ish. I've grown up in the South, and you know what? We have some tough girls down here. She knows how to work a gun, and she can stand up for herself. And so it's great that we don't have this girl that's like, oh, please. No, because she's counted on nobody but herself. She's had a job since she was 16 to help pay her mother's medical bills. She did everything on her own without her father there and buried her mother by herself. She has depended on nobody, only her. And she's had to sell their house, and she's a strong girl. And then there's Grant, which is Georgiana's ex-stepson. So it's not technically Rush's brother, but because they grew up together in that way, they consider each other brothers still. And Grant is perfectly nice to her, and he offers her a place to stay because Rush all but says, yeah, no, you're not staying here, because he obviously hates her father, and she's not exactly fond of the guy either. But then Rush reluctantly lets her sleep in the maid's quarters, which is like a back hidden room in the pantry under the stairwell. And so she stays there and she's glad about it. She does not complain about anything. That's another quality I really like with her, because I find that those complainers are so obnoxious. And so she gets a job and she's trying to work to save enough money to get her place. And so she stays there because it is technically Rush's house. And he just allows his mother to live there because they have different houses for different seasons. Another thing that I really liked, because I think in my head I was thinking they're technically stepbrother and stepsister. I know they're not blood related, but still it's kind of like a taboo. I really thought that's what it was going to be about. Like, oh, I can't be with you. I have to wait till the parents break up. I really thought it was that, and it's not that at all. It's so much better than that. There is this secret that just tags along with the entire story, and we don't know what it is until the very end. And it was a pretty big shock. I didn't see it coming. It's the reason that he keeps saying, I can't be with you and I'm no good for you. And it makes so much sense now. So much sense. So don't let that irritate you throughout it. I promise it's worth waiting to figure out what it is. It's worth every page. Abbi Glines just wrote a fast-paced book that doesn't seem short despite that it is. And I feel like it was like, again, this 400-page story because I felt like I knew the characters to that level. I didn't like this as much as Twisted Perfection, though it was still quite good. I prefer Twisted Perfection. Maybe it was because Woods. Oh yeah, Woods was in this. Woods. I have a thing for him, I think. And Rush, while he's this great guy, I think my expectations for him were almost a little bit too high. I was more irritated with him than anything. I mean, he had reasons. There are reasons for everything and an explanation, but Woods still all the way. I didn't cry like I thought I would have cried. Maybe it's because I just came out of reading Hopeless and all those tears for like an entire couple weeks were spent like within the 4 days of reading that. I don't know what it is. I did tear up a couple times when she talked about her mother and her sister. That got me, but the unveiling of the big secret didn't make me cry. I was more angry about it. It's worth waiting to see what it is though, so don't look up any spoilers because it'll ruin it for you. This is a very good beachy kind of read. Not that it was very much on the beach at all, I don't know. Maybe it's the mindset that I know it's in Florida and I know it's hot as hell out there and I don't know. Mindset of mine. And that is all I can give you without starting to spoil, and I will talk to you guys later when you have read it. Bye! So Blair gets a job at Woods' family's country club, the Carrington Country Club, and she works out there on the golf course handing out drinks, and then Woods hits on her and anyway gets her moved up to the dinner room. So Woods flirts with her at one of Rush's parties and Rush just loses it at him. And we find out later that Woods and Rush have been like childhood friends and they've never like got into it like that. And it makes it so clear that it's Blair that he's fighting over. He's being possessive of her. And we're left thinking, well, why don't you just say something about it? What is it with this big secret that is keeping you from being with her? Really, what is it? How big of a deal is it? Blair and Rush have a few times where Rush lets his "you deserve better than me" guard down. And then they kiss, but then his wall goes right back up. In fact, we're kind of led to believe that he's purposely making out with these girls in open spaces, though it is explained later, but still, open spaces where he knows that Blair is going to see them. She lives there. I mean, in the kitchen, he's screwing some girl. On the couch, he's screwing some girl. And it's just like, I think maybe he was doing it so that she wouldn't want him. There was one point when he held her pinky with his pinky, and I was like, Dean Holder feels. Blair is really great with managing her money, and she knows that bread and peanut butter will get her by for quite a while. And for every meal of every day, you do get sick of that. But she doesn't eat anything from his pantry because she doesn't want to be a mooch like her father, because that's what he said that her father was, and she knows that damn well, and so she doesn't want to be him. And so she has her own food, and that's all she eats. And then Rush catches on to that, and he's freaking out about it, and he's just like, please eat my food. And I just found that so funny. He kept repeating that like 3 times. Please eat my food. Just eat my food. Eat it now, please. Now, I've grown up in the South, but if she didn't explain what a honky-tonk was, I would have been so confused. Though the upside of growing up in the South is I have perfected the mental accent. I cannot verbally give a Southern accent well at all. Rush Finlay? See, I'm not good at accents, but I had one in my head and it's much better there. Like, it should stay there and never out loud again. So then Rush invites himself along to go to the honky-tonk, presumably to keep guys off of her because Rush is being possessive. But then he opens her door for her. And she's like, so you open doors for your dates? That's very chivalrous of you to do. He's like, actually, no, I don't. You just seem like the kind of girl who deserves to have her door opened. You just won serious points. All of that ness that was happening before, I don't know what's going on with my hand, but whatever, all of that just canceled out with that one gesture. Because that does say a lot. I have one thing to tell these two. No glove, no love. That's twice now, guys. Don't be stupid. So Nan is her sister. And because her father chose Blair's family over Nan, that's why Nan has hated her for so long. And I was a little bit confused thinking, well, how is this some big secret that doesn't involve her? Because they kept saying, oh, it's Nan's secret, it's not ours to tell. And so then Blair's furious at her father because they're talking horribly about her mother and disgracing her, and it just infuriates her. And Rush isn't saying anything, and it was so freaking confusing that they were saying all of that and calling her mother a whore, and it was awful. And so then she says to her father, stay here with your family, Abe. I'm sure they will love you as much as the last one did. Try not to kill any of them. It's just, that is the worst thing and the best thing to say to him to really get through. So then she leaves and Rush follows her to her hometown. And he tells her that he loves her and that he was the reason that her father left. Because Nana's his sister, and I seriously can't justify this in my head. I can understand it, but it's still so not okay. She had gone to see her father before, and then her mother would tell her how he chose his other 2 daughters over her and just made her feel awful. And I think that is an awful woman, Georgiana, because how could you tell your kid that? So he sent a picture of Nan to her father 5 years ago after Valerie died, and that's why he left. And he feels awful for it. And at first I was like, but how does this make sense to the rest of the story and why he didn't want to be with her because she was better than that or something? And I really didn't get that until about last night at 2 in the morning when I was thinking over the book, and it clicked for me. I don't know why it clicked so late for me. I don't know. But it was because he knew that was his fault, and he knew he would have to tell her that. And that is why he thought so lowly of himself, because he did that to her, and he didn't understand the situation that she was in, but that doesn't excuse it. That doesn't excuse it. And at least he doesn't think that that excuses his actions, because it doesn't. And then Blair basically fucks him goodbye. She feels like she can't forgive him because he completely disgraced her mother's, and she feels like she can't forgive him because he disgraced her mother's name. She just can't forgive him knowing that he is the reason that her father left her mother and her. And we end with that goodbye. And it sucks. And I know what you guys meant about a cliffhanger, and you warned me. Since I didn't cry in the first book, I have a question for you guys. Do you think I would cry in the second one if I didn't in the first one? Because my tear ratio isn't, I don't know why I didn't, it just didn't happen. But if you think, if I didn't in the first one, that I won't in this one and I'm safe, that'd be awesome to know. Because I'm trying to figure out what books I could read in the airport and on the airplane and while I'm at Book Bash and everything, and I don't want to be a crying mess. I started reading Beauty from Pain by Georgia Cates, and I think I will get through that because literally on the first page she said slutmance, slut romance, and I'm sold. So I think I'm gonna go in reading that. And I'm quite excited about it too. So I will see you next time on Bookworms Talk when I have that up, hopefully. See you later. Bye.